start with this. I have seen that I have, well, sometimes one person here and 2 or 3 people that view the streaming. One, I put it on Twitter or Facebook, well, mostly Twitter. So I'm happy and that's good. It's a shame we have no more people, but well, nothing bad. And just need to do more marketing. Unfortunately, this year I won't be able to attend a Comic-Con. I expected to do so, but I don't think my money will let me. We'll see. I will use that to put some of my the links of Twitch and Twitter and all that, because I don't usually publish on Instagram. I have the account, but I barely use it. Okay, so last time we were talking about this, how to make your characters. So let me just look for one here. This is the one I was looking for. Well, not exactly. These are other kind of questions that you can use. Just give me a second. There is a list of questions you can make to have your character, to define your character. Remember, one thing is that's because I'm on another page. Give me a second. This is a bit of a list of the activities, the questions you have to do to make a character and to make them stand. As you remember, we had seen last class that you need, of course, the name of your character. In this case, because it's a comic with heroes, superheroes, he has a secret name, and the role he's playing in the story. Is he a main character, a support character, is the antagonist, etc. You have the regular questions like age. You can tell his civil state. Is he married, single, is being through the divorce, anything. You need to decide what is with your character. You can say if he has just finished a long-term relationship and if he's finishing in a good way or a bad way, because that will let you know how your character is feeling. For example, in this story, I had that he lived in with his concubinate, but I'm not still putting here that his partner was killed about a week or less at the moment. So he is in a very stressful situation. He needs to decide what he wants to do. Keep going with the superheroic situation or focus on his family. Especially because it was a secret even for his wife, his partner. Then you have a short storyline about this character. Again, this story doesn't have to appear in your comic or in your novel, whatever you are writing, but you need to know it so it will define your character personality. Is he shy or is she shy? Is outgoing, etc. In this case, you don't have a very specific number of pages. You can make it as long or as short as you need. Just choose what is important. You can write some ideas that you want to add, but it's not necessary as long as you know the temper your character will have. In my case, for example, this character comes from a very strict background. Both his father, his grandfather are in the army. They were both homophobic. Not that my character is gay, but his uncle that was very close to him, he was gay. So when his father and grandfather found out, they cut all relationship with him and let the main character without any relative to, well, relate. It's a bit of drama because his father is dead, his grandparents are dead, his mother is dead, his brother, and well, actually he had a sister, but it's dead. And the only one that he could rely on is his uncle, who he hasn't seen in years because him being gay, he was forbidden to see him. So he's totally alone with the I forgot the name for the word for the loss of someone dear. I totally forgot the word. And he's with two little kids. Again, he doesn't know if he's going to keep going as a superhero or he's going to focus on his family. And again, he can't rely on anyone. His wife, well, you can call her wife even if they weren't married. He was also having some trouble with her family, so she never introduced her family to my character, so he's absolutely alone. Don't worry, he's gonna find his family, both families later. Here, when I write this verse, I was thinking that his power had a negative shadow that need to feed on human, or well, in life, in blood. So I give him this job that he has an ambulant butcher shop. It's a very uncommon work, very well paid, and it would relate also that to the fact that instead of killing people, he just need to kill the animals, the cows, the chicken, and his negative part, his negative essence would be happy. So he could still be a hero. It was an idea. Right now, I'm not really sure I will use it as that, but I will keep some kind of job that fits his superhero work of moving around the city without being in an office like other characters. But again, this is what you decide to write, how you decide to write it. I put some background of his relationship with his parents, mostly with his father. That was the one that was a big image in his family. His mother, his sister, they were great. So he doesn't have a very strong relationship with them. But again, it depends a lot on you. You can choose what you want to write. Put as long as you want, as many information. You can write down little stories you want for them, even if they don't appear. Hello, someone's here, I think I know whom. Then this is a very general chart. You can work which powers they have. Again, this is very general. I have got some friends that play Dungeons and Dragons and other games like that. Not exactly D&D, but other games like that. And that's very useful because they have character charts that are very complete. You can write down which powers your character have, which are their weakness, what make them stronger, if they're smart but not fast, etc. So if you can get one of those, they're very useful. You can also have a physical description of your characters. Just remember, it's not the same if you say your character is blind than if you say your character is, well, a regular person that doesn't have any special physical feature or something. Because if you say he's blind or your main character is blind, then you need to think how this affects your main character relationship with other people. Does he or she feel overwhelmed, or as if people didn't pay him or her attention, if they think they're weak or something? Were they born blind, or they had an accident that made them blind? So you need to decide all that, write it down. If it's because of an accident, of course it has to be here. And you need to know how your character's temper is, because maybe it's a cheerful person who, after some grief, I finally come with the word, some grief, decide that being blind doesn't matter, that he or she is as happy as ever. Or it can be someone that totally goes down, that have even suicide thoughts because they are totally unhappy with this accident. You need to decide all that with your character. Then you have a few questions. In this case, I have, how's he as a father? Because this is related to my character. Again, I'm talking about a father that is a superhero, so he has two lives. I need to define how is he as a father. You can make as many questions on his role. I can write about how is he as a father, as a superhero, as just a worker, etc. You can write a question about how is your character in each of his her roles. If they are studying, how are they as a student? If there are children, how are they as a son, as daughter, or how are they as a mom, as a father? It depends on the relationships they have. Well, here I have a little abstract about the villain, because this is one part that I haven't totally decided and is stopping me with this story. It seems too easy to say that he's just an anarchist. So again, make it as long as you need. In this case, I just have this this short paragraph because I haven't totally decided what is this villain-like. He needs to be manipulative. He needs to believe on some values over anything. We're talking about a person who kills mothers because he knows that that would destabilize fathers, so he can manipulate fathers and make them work for him. Start giving them some anarchist ideas. Give me a second. So, actually, I think I don't have this written around. That about it. Then I have just the very short info about the kids, 5 and 2 years old. You can imagine that they don't have a lot of personality yet. They're just kids. So it's important to know how kids act, especially when they're grieving. And then we have support characters. Try to do this. Again, I'm using here OneNote, but if you want to use, I never changed this image. If you want to use a flow chart, you can also do it. If you find a flow chart that lets you have the relations of each character and then open to a link to a longer explanation, that is also great. There's no special rules here, just do which feels better for you. Since I write a lot, it worked very well for me. Just remember, you need to write the name of your character. In this case, she is dead, so it's very important to remember she's dead. You don't want to have one of those novels or comics that you kill a character and one chapter, 2 chapters later, they just walking around and playing around with everyone as if they haven't died because you forgot they were dead. Actually, that I just remember an anecdote that is told about the Quixote, that in one chapter Sancho is robbed from his mule, but Cervantes forgot it, and next chapter Sancho is riding his mule. It's funny, but it's also annoying. So try to have this very clear in your books, in your novels. If a character is going to die, make sure you know when, you know how, and never use it again. Is that? You may remember it, but never use it again. Same rules. I had a longer questionnaire, I can't find it. Write down his name, their religion, if they have a religion, they can be an atheist. Some of the most important relationships and roles. Is a mother, a sister, has family, etc. And just like that, keep going with all the characters that you will need. All. Doesn't matter if it's a main character, a secondary character, or just a support character. All of them needs to be here. By the way, I have twice characters. In this case, for example, even if the characters are dead, I may need a little info about my main character's father and sister, sorry, and grandfather. But also, for example, he has a sister-in-law. I still don't have the name. Actually, it's here, Mana de Drama. Here I'm just going to write, well, I wrote very shortly about her personality. Now I'm going to write what's her role in the story. So very short, in this case, the sister-in-law is a person that is giving my main character in a lot of stress because she wants to take the kids with her, so she's just pushing forward to make him stressed until he sinks down for the permission for her to be the tutor. And the opposite, I will have the father same thing. I still don't have the names. I can do that later. Now the ages and everything else. At this moment I'm just giving one age, but I will check it later. After I put here some of the this is part of his role. Here, for example, I'm writing that the father-in-law, he has his own story. I just write it very, very fast. That he was also, he became a widow with his two little girls, when they were girls, little girls, of course. So he's now in a role where he knows the main character, Ink, is getting into a very difficult situation if he wants to be a single father. But he also wants to be with his grandchildren. So he's in that point. He's that kind of character that will advise Ink about how to be a single father, but also about the importance of relying on family if he wants to be able to become a father, if he doesn't want to lose his children. So that's part of the paper. I have here another character that appears in certain scenes, so I don't give it a lot of information about her name, her age, her work, and again her role. Alien, she's an alien. That's because there is a late scene. She's very close to a character that is like the leader of all the superheroes. She's his right hand, and she's having some appearances here in the comic because she's trying to help Ink decide what he's going to do. Is he going to keep looking for his children, or is he going to keep fighting? And of course, she is a bit more on the side that he needs to put his kids away. to give them away to his sister-in-law or something, because she's more that point. Anyway, she's going to appear just a couple of scenes, mostly at the end, and that's all. So I don't need a lot of information, but again, you can make it as long and as short as you need it. In this case, I just put touch is very strong, has hit eyes, and can fly, because when she appears, if she appears in a fighting scene, you will see her powers. In most of the scenes that I have planned for her, those are not necessary. Okay, that's, I think, everything about the characters. Again, this is a very short one. Keep this archive close to you, because as you are writing, you are going to find that you need more characters. Some characters, for example, here I don't have the social service lady that's going to be trying to mediate between Ink's in-law family and him, without knowing that she's creating with a superhero. So she's going to have a very important place here, but it's not going to be in every scene, only in a couple of the scenes where she's going to try to make that both families get along. So as long as you are writing down, you may find that you need more characters. And well, here you have, let me make a last. Move now. Am I working? I can't find this. I have another list of questions you can make, but now I can't find it. This is the only one that appears, and it's not the one I'm looking for. These are pages I have saved about this. This is more about how to know your character is not boring. In this case, it's cool to find out if your character is not symbolic. They give you a definition. It's mostly, some characters are very flat. They don't seem to be different from characters. One of the questions, for example, they say, especially for female characters, do they have important roles, or are they just there to fill space? So these are very useful. I should have prepared a class for these two. There are different questions you can write. You don't need to agree with everyone or everything, but it's funny. For example, the sexy lamp one is a very funny. It's annoying, but it's funny. It's when a character does nothing in the story but look good. That's all they do. It's usually a female character. And it's funny because there are a couple of jokes, but there are many characters, many stories that make jokes about this. For example, in Powerpuff Girls, Miss Bellum is a joke of the sexy lamp because you only see her body and she has a super body, but she's the only one that knows how to rule the city. The mayor, that is supposed to be the important one, is the sexy lamp. He's stupid, he's always distracted, and he never pays attention. So it's a joke they made with the idea of the sexy lamp. Another one was this version of the Ghostbuster, one of these late versions they did when they decide to change all the male characters for female characters, and they have this sexy lamp but with a man, and they even joke about it that he is stupid but he's sexy, so that's all his role, being there and make the girls happy. I'll prepare a class for this next week. Because the other I can't find it. That's something that's very annoying. I need to reorganize all these notes. What's this? Oh, I remember this. I hope I haven't erased it. I can't find it. It's over here, but sometimes it doesn't appear. Oh, a shame. Okay, I think that's all for characters right now. We can see later next class about the tests you can do with them to know that they're not boring and that they are something more than just an image. Remember, it's not bad, just don't put or don't give a lot of importance to a character that is only there for a comic relief, or to make it look good. You can have a sexy character just as a joke or because you want to draw it. Just make sure it's not a character that will appear every panel, every 2 pages, and do nothing but being sexy or being goofy, because then they become boring. That's all. If you want to have a sexy character, make sure they have some brain, they have some interactions that are more than just being there. And well, we'll have this class next week, next Tuesday. So hope you like it. I hope it wasn't boring or confused. We will have that about how to check your characters, and then in another week we will have how to make the plot. It's a lot of things, I know. Okay, see you.